Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video I'll be going through my tips for round 5 in the women's AFLW. So before and going through my round 4 tips and how I did, etc. And yeah, we'll see how I went. And so yeah, before we get into the video, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload, and let's get into the video. So that one. So as you can see here, there we go. I'm ranked now 40th after being ranked 74th going into the round. Sorry, I'm just trying to write some things down on my iPad so I remember my ranking, etc. So ranked 40th, I started the round 74th, so up 34 slots. So yeah, really good. Only got 7 out of 9, which is my worst round, I believe, of the whole thing. I believe that's my worst round. Is that round I got 8. That round I got 8, and the other round I would have got 8 going by the scores. So this game we'll go through the tips, etc., what I did, and then we'll go through what I'm predicting for round 5. So to start us off, the margin game, I predicted Melbourne by 40, as you can see here, and they won by 59, and this was a really good tip, actually, just because some people, I think, just due to the nature of AFLW, just didn't bother picking Melbourne by a large margin. So I think they got caught out and have a large margin now overall. They picked them by like 20, say, and that caught them out by 40 points. So I gained a lot of margin on a lot of people, and that's why I think I jumped up initially 20 odd spots to I think 54th, just off the basis of this game, and them actually winning by 40 points. So I was 19 points off there, which isn't actually that bad. Adelaide by 69 points. I said 35, so I was 34 points off there. Yeah, that was just a bad tip. And then we actually come to a perfect tip. I tipped Richmond by 7, and they won 47-40, so that was a really good tip. And obviously a really good tip as they won by 7, and I predicted by 7, and that might be, I think, one of my first ever perfect tips. I mean, I'm getting better with the women's, getting them close on, but yeah, that was just a really good tip. Then I said Geelong by 35, and they won by 28, so I was 7 points off there. Then not the best tip in Sydney. I said Sydney by 38, and they won by 13, so I was 25 points off there. And I think this really showed to me that the Swans, yes, they're not the worst side, the Swans, but they're definitely not the best side, and they're still missing Montana Ham, who was out in this game. They're still missing just a little bit of cohesion, and I think given that it's their second year, they're doing all right. I mean, they're better than Hawthorn. St Kilda's still below them. Essendon's doing actually right for a second year team, I'm pretty sure, as well as who was the other second year team? Port Adelaide are 1 and 3, so they're doing better than most of the second year teams. So it would be Port and Hawthorn and Essendon are the other second year teams. So they're doing they're the second out of 4 second year teams, which is all right. Not the greatest, but obviously that year last year sort of sucked for them. Then we moved down to one of my incorrect tips, and this was annoying. They were up by 20 at halftime, and then they blew it. This would have probably put me in the top 10. And yeah, I had North by 8, and they ended up losing by 2, so I got that tip wrong by 10. Then I had Essendon by 11, and they won by 20, so I was 9 points off there. Another really good tip. A lot of these games I missed just because I was out doing stuff, and yeah, so I missed this. And then I saw here Collingwood were up by 25 points at one point in the third and 20 points at three-quarter time, yet they still lost. They conceded 32 points to nothing in the last quarter or something like that. And so they ended up losing by 12, so I was 27 points off there, as I had predicted a Collingwood 15-point victory, which would have looked good at three-quarter time. And then Gold Coast, I predicted by 12, and they ended up winning by 4, so I was 8 points off there, which gives me a grand total of 60, 85, 95, 104, 35, 139 margin across the 9 games isn't actually that bad, to be honest. So it's a lot better than, obviously, the men's with high scoring has more volatility and stuff like that, so you can get more differentials, but 139 across 9 games, tipping all 9, isn't the worst. And so we go in this round ranked 40th, and let's see if I'm hoping at the end of this round, at round 5, because if you actually look at these rankings, right, and you think, if I get one tip wrong, how far am I going to slide? And I'm 31 and 60, right? And you'll see here that I'm right around 40th. And 31, what's 30 and 60 look like? If we just keep on scrolling, I should have set this up beforehand. 30 and 60, so getting one tip wrong pushes me all the way back down to 279th. That's not even that bad, because we were saying around a round ago that same thing, getting one tip wrong, would push me back to 450th, I believe. And then the round before that, it was 750. So if I can have another really good round, then having one tip wrong only pushes me back to probably 150th if I have another good round here. So it's just getting that almost insurance that, if you stuff one up, you're not losing too much ground. Like I thought I had a bad round with the 7 and I still went up. I think that's just because the Kangaroos lost and also Collingwood lost, which was a 92%er, I believe. But similar to this game. So I am going to predict Melbourne to win this game. I do think they're on fire and they are literally just blowing teams away. Geelong aren't going to get blown away like... who do they play at the start of last round? Hawthorn. I don't think they're going to get blown away by 50 odd points. I think Melbourne's going to win this by 15. As I think that also gives me the chance, in case Melbourne blow them out of the water by 35 points, not to lose too much margin. And I don't think Geelong are that bad of a side. They lost one game. They lost to North. But they beat Port by 28 points last round. So I don't think they're that bad of a side, but I don't think they will beat Geelong. Yeah, no, as a matter of fact, I'm going to do 20 points just because I have a fear. Something saying that they're going to score one or two extra goals. Richmond are going to win. Freo don't have, I believe Richmond are going to win. Freo don't have Bowers, so that will mean that Richmond are at a massive advantage here. Let me just make this so it's easier to write it down, actually. And so that's why I'm predicting Richmond. I'm going to say Richmond to win by... actually look here. Yeah, no, they're both. Richmond are 3-1, Freo are 2-2. I'm going to say Richmond to win by 14 points. Then you have Carlton against the Swans, and part of me wants to say the Swans, but I just know that the way that they're performing is around about this 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, around about the region that they're in at the moment, actually, or just below it. I think one or two more teams can jump them, and they'll finish the ladder around 14th or so. So there's that. So I think Carlton get the job done against the Swans, and I'm going to predict the margin to be, I think 16 points. Then you have Western Bulldogs against St Kilda, and I'm shocked that Western Bulldogs are predicted favourites. I don't think they have any incomings, so I'm actually going to go against the grain here and say St Kilda win this. And St Kilda win it by like 8 points, as yes, Western Bulldogs better against the Suns, who are 3-1, but I just don't like St Kilda I don't like Western Bulldogs this year, and I like the look of St Kilda. So I'm going to say St Kilda by 8 points, and this could easily be the game that I drop, but if I do get this game right, this will be a game that I massively go up. I think Port are looking better, and I think the West Coast Eagles, this will be one of the only games I see West Coast potentially winning, but I don't think they will win. I think Port Adelaide will just be able to score a lot freer, and so I'm going to predict Port Adelaide by, I think I'm going to predict Port Adelaide by 13 points. Collingwood against Essendon. Collingwood are there. Where's Essendon? Essendon are 3-1. Another big call. Do I want to go? Well, let me just do those ones because I think that's pretty obvious. So it comes down to the last to this game. Part of me wants to say Essendon. Part of me wants to say Collingwood will just win. who have Essendon played and who have Collingwood played? Who did Essendon play last week? Essendon played Fremantle and won. Collingwood played St Kilda and lost. The round before that, you had Collingwood lose to Gold Coast, and where did Essendon play? Essendon lost pretty convincingly to Adelaide. You had Collingwood beat Freo, and Essendon beat St Kilda. So, and then also you had in round one, Essendon beat Hawthorn, and Collingwood lost to Melbourne. So I'm actually going to go against the grain here and pick another underdog in Essendon. I think this will be a close game, and I could quite easily be wrong on this game. But I think Essendon's going to win by 11 points. Then you have North against GWS, and North are going to win that by 45 points. I think that'll be a pretty big win. Then you have Brisbane against Hawthorn, and I think Brisbane win this game by like 30 odd points, 35 points or something. Just to be just to put a margin out there. And then Adelaide will win the last game against Adelaide will win against Gold Coast by maybe 20, no, not 25, because they're gonna, Hatchard's gonna get shut down a little bit by Single. Rowbottom's probably gonna lose out to Marinoff. I think they're gonna lose this. I think Adelaide's gonna go over the top of them by 40 points, just because I think Adelaide is scoring well too much at the moment. Anyway, that is the tips for the women's. A couple of upsets I predicted, 2 upsets. So if I can get both of those tips right, well then I'll probably be within the top 20 or so, I would think, halving my rank. If I get them wrong, well then that's pretty much the tipping season over. But yeah, hopefully get them right, get some gap between me and the rest of the field. And yeah, so that is the video, and I'll see you guys in the grand final tipping preview for the men's side in a little bit. Bye guys.